Welcome, everybody. One of the strangest events of the entire 2024 presidential election took place last night. It was a much promoted Twitter Spaces or X Spaces involving Elon Musk, I guess, interviewing Donald Trump, and it went horribly and completely wrong. The big headline from the entire event was that Donald Trump was slurring throughout the entire thing. Even the Drudge Report splash page saying slur-riddled event with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Now, that was after a 45-minute delay caused by the ongoing technical issues that seem to plague Spaces on X. Elon Musk attributing it to a vague DDoS attack, although no such thing has been demonstrated. Eventually, the event started, and Trump's claims, increasingly bizarre and disjointed, also slurring the entire time. There were people who, in the aftermath of the event, in an effort to defend Donald Trump, chalked up the slurring to some kind of voice processing, but it seemed to only affect Donald Trump's voice, which was also very strange. So let's listen to some of these clips, starting with maybe the weirdest moment, other than when Trump said, "I might flee to Venezuela if I lose." We'll get to that later. Maybe the weirdest moment, where Trump, referring to Kamala Harris as Camilla, said that she looked beautiful, kind of like his own wife, Melania Trump. A bizarre, unintelligible moment, riddled with Trump's short of weird slurring that made it sound like he was wearing loose dentures, even though wealthy people don't wear dentures. They get dental implants. It's all bizarre.
And actually, she looked very much like our great first lady, Melania. She didn't look,
Yeah.
she didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman. So we'll leave it at that.
And I don't know if Camilla, if he's referring to the British, isn't like the wife of the king? Yeah, I don't know any royal stuff. I don't know if he's referring to that British woman or if he's referring to Kamala as Camilla, but slurring endlessly and unintelligible. Trump then said he's okay with climate change and rising sea levels because he thinks it will give him more oceanfront property.
You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise one eighth of an inch over the next 400 years.
1/8 of an inch over the next 400.
And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming.
Right. So Trump's not worried about global warming. It's all going to be absolutely great. Trump then attempting to talk about groceries, and it went just as poorly.
With all of that being said, the election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that they can't buy groceries because they don't have enough money to buy groceries.
Yeah. The election's coming up. What is going on with this guy? Not only does he have no idea what he's talking about with regard to policy, he's almost unintelligible and seems disoriented. Here is Donald Trump claiming he had millions of people on his Twitter space when it first started. I guess there were maybe 1 million people.
Something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people. And it's an honor. We view that as an honor.
And of course, no voice processing there that could explain the slurring. That's a video in the room with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. At another point during this abortive event, Trump started talking about Kim Jong-un, a very strange rant. And again, Trump really struggling to speak.
Possible.
That's true.
This is like talking to an NPC.
No.
So it's just impossible.
Well, but think of it. We need a man or person who's unbelievably sharp in order to stop all the nuclear danger and all the dangers that I'm talking about. And I got along with all these. You know, I got along with Kim Jong-un. We had dinner. We had everything. And he really liked me, and I got along with him really well. By the way, he's the absolute boss over there. You know, a lot of people said, "Oh, do you think you really?"
That's for
Let
sure.
me tell you, I saw things that you don't want to know about. He is the
Saw things.
boss. But you know, we had a good relationship, and he doesn't like Biden. He considers him a stupid man. He said he's a stupid man. Well, at least he speaks his mind. But, you know, in this country, you're not sort of allowed to say it, but I guess you are. You should be allowed to say it if it's true. But we need smart people, and we need people that have an ability to lead.
This is genuinely sad. And I know that it does sound like loose dentures, but from everything we know about Trump, he doesn't wear dentures. I mean, it's just, and in fact, he's known, I believe, to have veneers, which the veneers go on top of your teeth. So it's just not seeming like a reasonable explanation. Trump issuing those very same threats that we've heard many times before about if Biden becomes president, we will have no more country. Now Trump is applying that to Kamala Harris and says if she becomes president, we won't have a country. And Elon Musk slips a yeah right into that.
Lunatic. And if she's going to be our president, very quickly, you're not going to have a country anymore. And she'll go back to all of the things that she believes in. She believes in defunding the police. She believes in no fracking, zero. Now all of a sudden she's saying, no, I really want to see fracking.
Yeah. As far as I know, Kamala Harris is not planning to shut down all fracking, and she is certainly not planning to defund the police, which simply hasn't happened. And then maybe one of Trump's most destructive promises, claiming during this interview with Elon Musk that went completely off the rails, that one of the first things he will do if he becomes president, God forbid, is he will close the Department of Education.
And what I'm going to do, one of the first acts, and this is where I need an Elon Musk. I need somebody that has a lot of strength and courage and smarts. I want to close up Department of Education, move education back to the states where states like Iowa, where states like Idaho, not every state will do great because states that basically aren't.
This is Project 2025.
Doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. But of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do great. And 15 of them, or 20 of them, will be as good as Norway. Norway is considered great. You can name them. I mean, they're so good. Some of these countries are so good. But
just great countries, some of the best. So as you can see, just really, really difficult there. Trump embroiled in a battle to the death against his own tongue, seemingly. And then finally, Elon Musk sort of volunteers to work for Donald Trump on some kind of efficiency committee. And Trump says, that's really great. No, and it was great when you were dealing with striking workers and you just fired them all or something. Trump really liked that.
Astronomical. I agree with you.
Well, I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love
if it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good.
Trump almost supplicating to Elon Musk there over the firing of striking workers. And I mean, listen, everyone but the most committed Trump sycophants saw this for what it was. The Drudge headline, Trump slurs through interview increasingly bizarre claims. And that is what it was. Something is very wrong. And this doesn't even include Trump's statement about Venezuela, which I want to talk about next. Did you know there is only one VPN fully optimized for streaming 4K video and downloading large files? That's our sponsor, Private Internet Access. A VPN hides your IP address, allows you to make it look like your device is anywhere in the world. So this lets you stream content on Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max, not normally available in your home country. For instance, the show Friends is not available on Netflix in the US, but when I change my IP address to the UK, I can watch Friends on Netflix and a ton of other awesome content I would otherwise miss out on without lag and without buffering. Private internet access is also faster than other VPNs for file sharing, so you can download anonymously, but without the long wait times. Anyone can use private internet access. Just turn it on once and forget about it. No special knowledge required. And you can use it on all of your devices, TV, phone, tablet, computer. Private internet access is giving my audience 83% off, which comes out to just $203 a month, plus 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.